FM, Bol Hyderabad, 90.4 FM बजाओ.
Hello everyone, welcome to Bol Hyderabad 90.4 FM. I am Ritika Pandey, your host for the day. Today, on the occasion of World Photography Day, we celebrate not just the art of photography, but the stories, dedication, and skill that go behind every frame. Today, we have Mr. Sridhar Raju, who is a very passionate industrial and travel photographer here at the studio, addressing us with his presence. Welcome to the show, sir. It's our pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Ritika, and I welcome everybody in the campus of Hyderabad Central University for the World Photography Day celebrations. And this is a wonderful opportunity to be interacting with you for me. And basically, we are people. I am a man behind the camera most of the times now, and it's an good opportunity for me to share the stories behind the camera with you all guys. And I welcome any kind of questions and enthusiastic questions. Basically, whatever kind of doubts or even related to academics or career kind, we can ask me.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we would like to know that how did your journey as a photographer begin?
Ever since I was in the college, with the encouragement of our head of the department, basically Mr. Prakash, he was instrumental in making me into a serious, taking photography into a serious profession. Basically, he encouraged me very well, and I was lucky to have him as my faculty there when I was in the college. And ever since I was still in the third semester of the college, third year of the college. I started working for advertising agencies and started. By the time I came out of the college, I had a handful clients of working with me, and there was no looking back ever since I was out of the college in 1992. I've been working with various advertising agencies, both the local and the national, and I've been traveling across the country on my assignments. And a couple of times, I had an opportunity to even travel abroad for my client's assignment on industrial photography. I am basically an industrial photographer. My core specialization is industrial photography. Apart from that, product photography and people. I've been shooting top class educational institutions, including IIMs and IITs, and most of the colleges in the state of both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. At this point of time, I consider myself to be fortunate enough to be, working on various genres of photography. And I cannot term anybody, just like an industrial photographer or a product photographer or travel photographer. Per se, photography itself is a expression, basically.
Okay, so for those who are not familiar with industrial photography, how would you describe industrial photography in simple terms?
See, basically, the scope of industrial photography, we need to look at for anything. Even if you are looking at fashion photography or industrial photography, these are all genres, basically, different arms in photography or photographers. And industrial photography, the scope of industrial photography is arises when when a client requires you to show their scale of operations, their size, and complexity of their products. It is eventually end of the day a visual storytelling exercise. How successfully you do it, how in what kind of a light you do it. It all shows the images come to life, basically.
Since you mentioned that you have been into many different assignments, so was there any defining moment or project that made you think that this is your niche?
Industrial photography is my niche, and
How? Yeah.
besides that, I am into whenever I find time, I don't hang around this way that way. I just travel. Travel is one which keeps me most of the times engaged, and besides travel, I am into virtual reality photography and close range photogrammetry. Close range photogrammetry is generating 3D models to the museum standard, international museum standard, and you generate high resolution printable models basically. Not too many people are into that.
So, in your opinion, what's the role of photographer in shaping a brand or a brand image or telling the story about a particular place?
It's an image. We always already have a speaks thousands words. That's it. Basically, a image tells the entire story if it is done properly.
So, could you share a memorable project of yours that pushed your creativity?
Yeah, it's yet to come.
Okay.
I don't satisfy myself with any. There is no benchmark. Stopping point. That is what my belief for any professional. Say, there's no point where you can tire, stop there, and yeah, I have achieved my magnum opus. There is nothing. No, you magnum opus will always be in the coming days.
So, how has photography changed the way you see the world? What did it teach you about people and life?
Recently, a couple of years back, I was shooting a painting basically. Done. It's a painting. It was hanging in the drawing room of my client, and when I saw the painting, yeah, it just appeared to be a known familiar artist drawn painting because the strokes were all different. And when I was asked to copy that painting. That is where I could say that I am a photographer at the core. Why? When I was looking at the painting with my naked eyes, yeah, it is a painting. But when I was asked to document it, and when I was looking at the painting through my lens, then I started realizing the story there. There was a young lady sitting on the banks of a river, and her face was, when I was looking out of with my eyes directly to the painting, the woman is nervous, upset about something. Yeah, there's somebody standing in front of her. When I looked at the painting through my lens, her face is ferocious, angry, and she was looking with that anger to the person standing in front of her. And this guy is a, what do you say? He was with arrow and bow. He was shooting a bird, and that bird was visible to me through my lens only. When I was looking at the painting, I didn't notice it. The bird is hurt with the arrow, and the woman is upset. The free bird, why did you hurt this bird? Is what her expression in the face. And this painting was brought by my client from the Baroda Palace, from his collection, and the artist was Raja Ravi Verma. So typically, I miss out a couple of some details when I am looking at the product or situation straight, but when I am looking through my lens, I will not miss anything.
So, since you told us about how industrial photography is your niche, so industrial environments often have challenging lighting, safety rules, and moving machineries.
Yeah.
So, how do you prepare for such shoots?
We have to stick to the safety measures and industry standards and all. Without doing that, no, there is no need of industrial photography. We have to follow all the safety regulations and guidelines from the client by the client or by the industry standards. Basically, industrial photography while coming, how do you handle it? When you go to a location and see that the place is not ready for shoot, basically, A factory floor is always a happening place basically, and there will be certain things which are needed for the process. There are certain things which are not needed to the project, and we have to make sure that everything is clean, clear, nothing unrelated to that specific area of process. Everything has to be removed and cleaned and cleared, and all these things we do visit a factory before. No, we don't go to a floor and start shooting. We do a visit of the place, which we generally call a pre-shoot location survey, popularly known as recce of the place, and we do give the guidelines to the client, basically um, asking the client to for making the people place ready, and people also ready for the photography at times, with cleanly shaved people faces, and neatly ironed and pressed uniforms, and protocol of a space. Basically, if there is any specific uniform that need to be maintained, if there is a helmet has to be worn by the person there in the picture, he has to wear a helmet, and if there is a mask has to be worn by the person, because these nowadays pictures will even get into internet also. The moment the client is not adhering to the standard industry standard practices, so then the photographer should know all those things, and we should address a client in good light only.
Since you mentioned how safety and protocols are so important during the part of the shoot, so have you ever faced situations where safety protocols impacted your creative freedom, and how did you balance both?
Such kind of a thing never arise, because we plan things well in advance, and without any kind of permissions and all, we don't even take the camera out of our bag.
Okay.
Whenever, wherever, there are couple of times I was shooting for a client who is into uh, dams, and some those dams were highly protected by Central Industrial Security Force, and we were shooting in Madhya Pradesh for a client who built a powerhouse. So for that, we had to the powerhouse was being guarded by Central Industrial Security Force. The people, they first aim a gun, and their finger will be on the trigger, and they come and ask you, who are you? If you don't answer properly, you are out.
So,
So we have to be careful in addressing all the cameras and all. Unless we don't have permissions, we don't even shoot
yeah,
images.
so that was about my next question, that what is the most difficult industrial photography assignment you have handled? And how did you overcome the challenges that come over with it?
This is, if your will is strong, there is nothing difficult, nothing impossible. And to me, basically by the blessings of my parents and my guru, there is nothing in this world which compel you to compromise. Even if you compromise, it is you who compromised. So don't compromise.
That's really true, sir. So, have you ever photographed something in industrial setting that looked beautifully unexpected?
An industry is an industry, basically. We generally oh, aesthetics are keeping aesthetics apart in industrial environments. Their maintenance and all those sticking to the industry standard practices or safety standards. These are all generally adhered to, but in an industry, those the place is basically aimed at producing material or goods required for their end user or.
So, sir, you have been in this field since quite a long time. So, we see that technology is evolving, things are changing, times are changing. So, how do you see technology like drones or AI changing the field in the next few years?
Yeah, technology is obviously taking technology per se, not today. If you think that no, today technology has taken a front seat, no, no, no. Technology is at the forefront even 30 years back, or even 40 years back, or 100 years back. See, uh, as a photographer, one has to be updated, up to date, to be
That's true.
in the limelight or to be happening. Basically, there are no two ways about it.
So, what is one advice would you give to young photographers interested in and entering the industrial photography?
See, basically, observation is the key, and observe natural light. How does it believe? How does it behave? Basically, natural light. How does it behave? See, I'll tell you a couple of examples now. Why should you look at natural light environment? See, there is one law of in photography. Inverse square law is what it is called. When a light source is at its source, the intensity of light at its source is at fullest of its capacity. At 1 meter from the source, the light behavior is different. At 2 meters, the light behavior is different. So what happens at 1 meter difference doesn't necessarily not be happening at 2 meters. There are a couple of things happen here, which are very important laws in photography or rules in photography. At 1 meter, whatever is at happening at 1 meter, when it goes to 2 meters distance, when it is doubled, the intensity of light reduces by 4 times. And the light coverage, how much area it covers. Say if it is covering 1 square meter at 1 meter distance, at 2 meter distance, it will cover 4 square meters. And the distance, between the intensity of light which is hitting the subject there is a calculation that is calculated by inverse square light is inversely proportional. The distance intensity of light is inversely proportional to the distance between the subject and light, to the square root of the distance. So
So, like you also mentioned that you are into travel photography
yeah,
and you uh, go on road trips and you mostly travel by road, so that you can get the essence of the place, of
yes,
the people, of the culture there. So, the journeys are not always very smooth and easy as it seems. So, have you faced any hard conditions? Like in between your journey when you were on a project or you were in between some trip, and how did you manage to click the best photographs there?
first of all, when you are heading to a place, don't go there with a preconceived notion or prepared state of mind. You enjoy or go through as it comes to your way.
So, what are the things that you would like to address to our audiences that want to and aspire to be photographers in their future? What is that one knack or advice that you will give to them?
See, if you want to achieve something, yeah, photography is such kind of a hobby. End of the day, now photographers, every second or third person is a photographer. And why people are preferring photography than other hobbies is, it gives you immense pleasure when you click a good picture. So that is the bottom line. No, if you want to create an image, do that. Do try to do your best. Don't compromise. If lighting is not fine, yeah, there was one legendary photographer from Hyderabad called Dr. O.C. Edwards. Of course, he was given the citation of honorary FRPS. FRPS is a citation given by RPS. RPS is a Royal Photographic Society of London. So as a photographer, as a hobbyist, you can apply for a fellowship, or you can apply for a licentiateship, or you can apply for a associateship. But honorary FRPS is not applied. They recognize your services, your practice, and then if you are falling in their lines of conditions, they will issue a honorary fellowship in photography. And so far, to my known knowledge, there are two people who were given honorary fellowship in photography from Hyderabad.
Okay,
And
so
Dr. O.C. Edwards is the first person.
so since you are a photographer who travel, go to industries, click the best shots out of them. So what is that one destination that you have been to and it seems the most photogenic place to you till now?
Nothing comes straight away like that. You have to make it beautiful. A point I missed while I was discussing a couple of minutes ago. I was asked to shoot a mattress, by a popular Hyderabad-based manufacturer, and that has the quilting on the bed and all. And generally, mattresses are for photography. I mean, for their promotion when we are shooting, they are shot as is where. I mean, raw mattress, not with covered bed sheets and all. So what happens is when you do lighting, I was referring to this inverse square law. When your light is put at a place on the subject, I mean basically when the mattress is say if it is lengthiest, 6 feet by 5 feet or 6 feet by 6 feet, you take a longest place, distance, and you compose a picture and do the lighting for the sake of texture, to achieve the texture, you do the lighting from the opposite side and slightly down. You give a cross lighting from the opposite side. So what happens, when you do that? If this is a bed and your where you're sitting is a camera, and the table itself is a mattress, and you have done the lighting from here. What happens is the nearest part of the mattress closer to the light is brighter, and the farthest part of the mattress, which is nearer to the camera, which is darker. So this is a challenge basically. Couple of challenges comes prop up in the location based on the distance they are covering and all these things. There is a physics applying there. Light naturally is brighter at the closer distances and naturally darker at the farther distances. And the moment if you keep a reflector here, the shadows are covered and there is no texture. Perception of texture is not there. When I have come across this, and you see that is why I was saying observe nature, natural lighting. So this is only a 6 feet mattress, where that which gives you the challenge of closest part is brighter and farthest part is darker. But if you look at a football stadium in a bright daylight, say about 10 o'clock in the morning, the entire stadium is well lit under the brightly lit sun. So what is the distance? What is the difference here? Now what is that we need to understand from this? So the sunlight or sun is somewhere very far away from us, and that is telling me a understanding. That is compelling me to come to an understanding that your light should be at a place where the farthest and the nearest from your camera should be equal to the light. That means I have kept the light somewhere about on the corner of the shed there, roughly about 900 meters or maybe totally close to it's a kilometer distance. I have to put all my 35 lights, put in at one place with the open tube, all flashes, and flash them, and the distance they were traveling here to my subject, and from there the light reaching my camera, I had to do the pumping of that. I had to fire the lights for 35 times. Since the subject was not moving, immovable subject, then I could afford to do that, and I was doing it on film. For that longest distance, I can afford to keep the shutter open, but not digital. I cannot keep my digital camera open for that long, like, because it gains noise.
So, sir, since you shared a lot of technicalities with us regarding the light, regarding the basic labor that it takes to get a perfect photograph, so can you share a creative trick or technique that has helped you capture a perfect shot?
I was doing this image for my portfolio when I was in the college. So it's a wonderful observation and very learning experience for me too. Even then, when I was in Narayanguda, I was in Baglingampalli, and there was a lab called Janta Color Lab in Narayanguda. Every day from while coming back from college, we used to hand over the films for processing then and go home. And after an hour or so, we go back to the lab and collect the prints, negatives or prints, or maybe marking the negatives or prints and all. Come back and do the that used to be our exercise then. So when I was coming to the lab, it was a winter evening, and the road in front of Taj Mahal, Narayanguda, and this lab happens to be in opposite to Narayanguda Taj Mahal Hotel. So the road was being laid. So the surface on the road is totally dusty, and there is a bus stop in front of the lab, and city bus stop. The city bus stop, generally they move with their own pace, and this bus driver was not driving fastly, and suddenly he braked in front of the lab, and I was behind. Behind means at least a furlong far from the bus. The braking, suddenly, erupted a lot of dust, and it was dusk time basically. There is another bus which is coming in front of from other opposite direction. Their lights were also on, and the dust which raised from this bus is acting like a screen because of the light which is coming from the other side bus, opposite side bus. And there was a person who was crossing, who just got down from the bus front door and was crossing the road. And he was in between the bus headlight of the opposite direction and the dust. So his shadow projected into this dust. So that gave me an idea of this can be used this way. So I have shot an image for my portfolio. Of course, I elsewhere shot an image. It was projected on a smoke raising in the studio. Oh, it was a dramatic effect. You can, if you start imagining, or if you start to create, trying to create something interesting, yeah, it will be endless.
That's so beautiful. And having an experience of these many years in the photography industry, what adjectives will you give to your style of photography?
So basically, I don't shoot for myself. I shoot for the people who look at the images.
Okay.
So try to be in the place of the viewer before shooting.
So, on the occasion of World Photography Day, what message would you give to would you like to share with the fellow photographers and all the listeners out there?
See, I take pride to be a photographer, and this art, has given me recognition and my life, entire life. So, what you're doing, what you want to do, mean it. And today, couple of activities, in photography. I do a couple of calendars, most popular calendars. My calendars go across the globe, and people wait for them. My calendars, in times, in revenue, they generate about 1,500 to 2,000 crores a year. But not for me, for the people engaged in that calendar outcome. So it gives a immense satisfaction. There are hundreds of families, dependent on this. And do something like that. So you don't do it for yourself. Do for the society, or for the betterment of people. whatever you can contribute, to the nature.
So that's really wonderful. We were really glad to have you here. Thank you for sharing your part of your journey, your adventures, your insights, and passion in the world of photography with us. And we really, really hope to see you at Bol Hyderabad more frequently.
Yeah, I am more or so, I'm open to any kind of advices or guidance in photography. Not from today. Ever since I was out of the college, my contributions are there to my college, my institution, and to my juniors are fellow photographers.
Oh,
And sometimes people from across the country, from Bombay, Delhi, they call me for the technical um, stoppages, basically what to do. I generally discuss. I don't. There's nothing, no secret, nothing. If anybody out of enthusiasm, if anybody asks me any question, I just answer them.
thank you so much, sir, for being here, sharing all your experiences with us.
90.4 FM, Bol Hyderabad. 90.4 FM, Baja.